Claude Code is great until the meter says your week is over. You are mid-refactor. The tests are half green. The agent finally understands your weird repo. And then, wall, weekly limit. Come back later. Your momentum is now a museum piece. On X right now, that exact pain is loud. People are not saying Claude cannot code. They are saying they cannot build a life around a weekly allowance. So this is Hermes Agent versus Claude Code, the substance cut. Not a 2-minute vibe check. We are covering what each tool is, limits, memory, cost, coding honesty, how Hermes is built, full local setup on Linux and the Windows path your viewers actually hit, which models to pair, how to compare fairly, and when Claude still wins. If you want local agents that compound, you're in the right place. Like and subscribe so this finds the people still rage. Refreshing a usage dashboard. Quick filter so nobody wastes 12 minutes. This video is for you if you run coding or ops agents daily, you have hit cloud limits, you care about memory across days, you want to stack on hardware you own, 12 gig cards, workstation GPUs, mini PCs, or you are choosing a daily driver, not a demo toy. This video is not for you if you only want a 30-second thumbnail fight, you need zero setup forever, or you want me to pretend Claude is garbage so the comments feel like a sports riot. We roast limits. We do not lie about quality. Corner 1. Claude Code. Anthropic's productized coding agent. Terminal and IDE workflows. Strong at large repos, multi-file edits, tests, pull request-shaped work. Optimized for Claude models. Setup feels like a product because it is a product. That polish is real and it matters. Corner 2. Hermes Agent. Open agent stack in the Noose research lane. Designed as an always-on partner. Tools, skills, persistent memory, multi-session work. Critical difference for this channel, it is not married to one cloud brain. You can point it at local models, cheap APIs, or cloud when you choose. OpenClaw shows up in the same Twitter threads as computer use, mouse, keyboard, screen. On our team that maps to the Windows customer mirror role. Useful, not the whole brain. Today the main event is Hermes versus Claude Code as the agent you live in. Write this on a sticky note. Claude Code is a specialist product. Hermes is an operating system for agents. Different jobs. Overlap in the middle. That framing saves you from fake either-or religion. Feature nobody puts in the launch blog, the meter. Claude Code heavy users describe the same arc. Productive start of week, extensions and workarounds, then a hard stop mid-flow. That is not a skill issue. That is product design. Fine for burst work. Brutal for always, on agent ops, content pipelines, and multi-day refactors. Hermes on a local model does not have Anthropic's weekly pocket schedule. Your limits become electricity, VRAM, disk, and whether your mini PC went to sleep, which will also ruin your day, but at least the villain is your power settings. Roast, because we promised humor. Claude Code is a sports car with the fuel cap glued shut every Sunday night. Hermes is a beat-up work truck with a jerry can in the bed. One looked better in the parking lot. One finishes the job site week. If your pain is specifically the wall, that alone can justify the switch even before we talk memory. This is the knife fight. Inside a fresh session, Claude can be razor sharp. Plan, edit, test, explain. Then long-running work hits compression. Users report the agent losing the plot. The bug, the branch name, the do not touch auth note you carved into the chat like a warning label. Hermes is built around the opposite bet, survive the long haul. Skills get created, refined, verified, reused. Memory is supposed to persist across sessions instead of evaporating when the context window goes on a diet. On our stack, we also run durable memory layers so the team does not relearn Mike's preferences every Monday like a goldfish with SSH access. Why this matters for BizFlowAI style work. Multi-day agent ops, Tower plus Gabe, recurring video, and benchmark pipelines. Forgetting the mission costs more than being 5% slower on a coding golf problem. Say it plain, a fast agent that amnesia's mid-project is an expensive intern with confidence issues. When we claim memory wins on camera, we show cross-session behavior, not a screenshot of a marketing bullet. Cloud polish is not free. Claude Code is a subscription plus usage lifestyle. Worth it if it ships your company. Painful if you are a builder running agents all day for clients, content, and experiments. Hermes changes the ceiling. Strong open weights locally. Qwen-class on a workstation GPU, or cheap AP, is when you are on a laptop at a gas station break. People on X post cents per task energy next to I hit the wall, again energy. That gap is the plot. You still pay. GPUs, power, setup time, nobody gets a free lunch. What you stop doing is renting your maximum output from a meter you do not control. Practical framing, price the week you actually work, not the hour you demo. Burst users can stay happy on Claude. All-day agent people feel the tax. Honesty hour. Rubber stamp benchmarks get roasted in the comments, correctly. Claude Code is still excellent at burst software engineering. Big repo navigation. Clean refactors. Make the PR make sense. If your job is short, sharp coding sessions and you like Claude's taste, it earns its keep. We are not doing the lazy YouTube move where the competitor is secretly lobotomized. Hermes, plus a strong backend, is where power users land for long missions, iterative tool use, overnight loops, multi-session projects, ops that are not only write a function. On X, the vibe is not, Claude cannot code. The vibe is, Claude cannot be my always on OS. So the question is meaner than a leaderboard. Who do you trust on day 2 of the same mission with the same constraints? If we publish numbers later, both sides get the same repo, same tasks, thinking on where supported, no artificial token starvation, and we score finish quality and wall clock like adults. What is Hermes, mechanically, so this is not vapor? Think in layers. 1. The agent loop. Read goal, use tools, verify, continue. 2. Tools. Terminal, files, web, browser, or computer use when attached. Delegation when you run a team. 3. Skills. Reusable procedures the agent can load so it does not reinvent how we upload to YouTube every time. 4. Memory. Preferences. Environment facts. What failed last time. 5. Model backend. Local Llama server, Ollama, or cloud. Hermes sits above the model. The model is the engine. Hermes is the driver who keeps notes. That is why Hermes versus Claude Code is not the same as Qwen versus Claude the model. You can run Hermes with different brains. Claude Code is tightly optimized around Claude. For this channel, that split matters. We care about agent workflows on hardware we own. Context window trivia under 65K is not the product. Can the agent install, configure, test, recover, and remember? That is the product. If you only remember one architecture line, skills and memory turn a chat model into a teammate. Linux workstation path. What we run on Tower. High level, do this in order. 1. Install Hermes Agent, the way news documents for your machine. CL. I available, profile directory alive, gateway or chat surface you actually use daily. 2. Point a local model server at a Qwen-class instruct model that fits your VRAM with headroom. On the Radeon AI Pro R9700, we run Qwen 3.8 27B class quant with long context and speculative decoding left on when it helps. We do not disable speed features in VS videos just to make AMD look polite next to CUDA flex posts. 3. Wire the agent to that OpenAI compatible endpoint. Confirm a boring tool task. First, list a directory, read a file, write a tiny note. If it cannot do boring, it cannot do your repo. 4. Turn on durable memory and create 2 or 3 real skills from your workflow, not toy skills, the ones you repeat weekly. 5. Run a multi-session test. Start a task, end the chat, come back tomorrow, ask what the constraints were. If it blanks, fix memory before you announce victory on the internet. Commands change across versions, so we put current copy-paste blocks in the description and pinned comment when this goes live. The sequence above does not change. Install agent, connect brain, prove tools, prove memory, then do real work. Windows path. This is Gabe, and this is what a lot of your viewers actually live. Same Hermes idea, different OS friction. On Windows, you will hit user account control, installer wizards, and why is my GPU busy moments that Linux sudo never shows you. That is not failure. That is the customer mirror. Practical order. 1. Install Hermes into a stable user localhost. Keep the gateway in a real logged-in session if you need computer use. Session 0 and locked screens break desktop control. 2. Pick your brain. Ollama is the friendly on-ramp on 12 gig cards like the RTX 3060. Llama.cpp or a local server is fine if you already live there. Qwen 3.59B class is a realistic daily driver on 12 gig with thinking on and sane context. We already published that full tutorial path. 3. Prove tools on Windows paths, not Linux fantasy paths. Read and write under your user directory. Run a simple PowerShell or command prompt task. The agent must execute for real. 4. Expect admin tasks to need you. Disk format, some drivers, some installers. Agent does hours of config after you do 30 seconds of elevation. That split is honest and it belongs on camera. If you are a Windows viewer, you are not behind. You are the market. Which brain do you bolt on? If you have roughly 12 gig VRAM, prioritize models that still tool call cleanly at Quant. 9B to 14B class instruct models with thinking available. Do not chase a 35B that pages itself to death and then blame the agent framework. If you have 24 to 32 gig class cards, 27B dense models get interesting for real agent work. That is the R9700 lane we keep testing. Quality and speed, no token muzzle. Cloud. AP. Is behind Hermes are valid when you travel or need a specialist burst. The point of Hermes is choice. The point of Claude Code is Claude. Selection rule we use on this channel. Can it finish the task with tools without lying? And how long did wall clock take? If it is stupid with infinite tokens, we say it is stupid. If it only looks smart because we starved the other model, that video gets deleted before upload. How to compare without stacking the deck. Same repository, same issue list, same definition of done, tests pass, diff reviewed, notes written, same time budget rules for both, or explicitly different budgets labeled on screen. Thinking on if the model supports it. No silent token caps that force early surrender. Score 4 columns. Did it finish? How many human unblocks? Did it remember constraints after a break? What did it cost in money or kilowatt hours? Publish failures. A clean montage of only wins is how channels lose trust. We will use this protocol in follow-up bench videos. This episode is the framework and the setup, so those benches mean something. Decision tree. Steal it. Choose Claude Code when you want maximum product polish today. Sessions are short and bursty. You specifically want Claude's judgment, you refuse to babysit infrastructure, and weekly limits do not match your workload shape. Choose Hermes when limits make you furious. Work spans days, memory and skills matter. You want local or mixed backends. You are building a personal AI team, or you need Windows and Linux reality, not a single cloud-happy path. Choose both when you can afford Claude as a specialist consult and Hermes as the always on OS. That is a power user move, not a cop-out. If you are a contractor, hours human who needs agents that still know the job tomorrow morning, bias Hermes. If you are sprinting a clean PR before lunch on someone else's dime, Claude Code may still be the fastest path. Daily driver for this channel, Hermes Agent. Not because Claude Code is trash, because our work looks like long-running local ops, multi-agent coordination, reproducible benches on hardware we own. Tower, R9700, Gabe as the Windows mirror, and content that has to survive more than one session. Claude Code remains the polished specialist. Hermes is the partner you keep for years. Pick tools like teammates, not like coupons. If your main pain is the weekly wall, the switch is operational, not ideological. Anti-patterns we see, and have stepped on. 1. Judging Hermes by a 2-minute chat with no tools and no memory configured, then declaring local agents dead. 2. Judging Claude Code only by limit screenshots and ignoring that it still ships strong burst code. 3. Running a model too big for VRAM, watching it thrash, and blaming the agent harness. 4. Disabling speculative decoding or speed paths in AMD versus NVIDIA videos to manufacture fairness that actually misleads buyers. 5. Token capping models so the video ends on time. If it cannot finish, show that. Do not muzzle it and call it a win. 6. Skipping the Windows path, then wondering why half your audience cannot reproduce. Avoid those and your comments get smarter. Recap. Claude Code wins polish and burst software engineering. Hermes wins limits, memory, cost control, local freedom, and long missions. You got architecture, Linux setup order, Windows reality, model sizing, fair test rules, and a decision tree, not a trailer. If this saved you from another midweek lockout, hit like and subscribe. Comment your stack, GPU, model, team weekly meter, or team local. I read them. Next, heavier local agent benches on the R9700, including the model versus model fights with the protocol from this video. Bring coffee. Bring skepticism. BizFlowAI. Local AI that compounds. See you in the next one.